my brother's pushing like this.
Oh no!
And I pulled one out, and the two fellas come and give me money.
4-year-old Braden Smith loves to play. That's why when he started laying around instead, his parents turned to doctors.
I started turning yellow.
It was out of nowhere. You've got a perfectly healthy 4-year-old, and just out of nowhere, his liver starts to fail.
And by the time he got to us, he had already started becoming confused, and his liver had failed to the point that he was in a coma. And he probably had about 24 hours to live.
It was sudden liver failure. A virus completely killed Brandon's liver.
It was hard watching him go. The week that we were here, less than a week, watching him go from being able to stand up and walk and talk to you to laying in the bed and, converting back to an infant.
Braden was admitted to Bonheur Children's Hospital at 10 in the morning, May 31st, and put on a nationwide organ donor list. By the next morning, miraculously, he was having transplant surgery thanks to a sudden liver donation.
That has changed my stomach to this one. It's very good. And that boo-boos.
It wasn't easy at first for Braden adjusting to his transplant.
Braden talked to me about 2 to 3 days after his surgery, and he told me, Mama, he said, I don't like my new belly. I want my old belly back.
But Bonheur's staff turned his frown upside down.
The smiley face, the boo-boos. That means it's a smiley face.
There was a security guard here at the FedEx house that Braden had showed, and he looked at Braden and he smiled and he said, I really like your smiley face. I want one just like it.
Just 3 weeks after his surgery, Braden is back to his curious self, even exploring a career in journalism after he got a hold of my camera. I like to read books and watch TV. I like to play with my little brother too. Thank you.
He's next to Ethan.
Braden adores his doctor, Dr. James Eason. But Eason credits the 4-year-old's miraculous recovery to a team effort at Bonheur.
Through the support of Bonheur and the University of Tennessee, we've assembled a great team that can take someone like Braden on the brink of death and you know, with the help of God and everyone else, can bring him and restore his life.
And Braden's parents are eternally grateful.
Thank you.
Give me some sugar.
It doesn't take long to notice Shanoa James has her daddy wrapped around her finger.
You just want to give kisses?
So you can imagine when she fell off a swing set,
I had turned away for 5 seconds.
how her dad, Jeremiah, felt.
It was terrifying. I was standing 10 feet from her when the bolt on the swing broke.
After 15 minutes of crying, she went right back to playing. 3 days went by before, within 3 hours,
Her eyes went from being completely fine to literally looking like they were going to bulge out of her head, like I wanted to put my hands in front of her to catch them.
the James family is no stranger to hospitals and surgeries. Shanoa is a special needs child, but they've never had a visit as frightening as this one.
I know, your eyes.
So Jeremiah sought out Bonheur Children's Hospital's Dad Support Group.
And some share really deep pain and experiences, and also their joy.
The Dad Support Group has been around for a year, led by Bonheur's chaplains, like Kobina Charn. He, like many of the other dads in the group, has his own story. His daughter battled leukemia.
Traditionally, men don't want to leave their family when they come to the hospital. They want to be around. They want to be there as a support for the mother and also for the child.
Now, this support group isn't formal.
Most of them think you're going to meet and talk about the Bible.
Instead,
We come in, there's something we have ESPN on. We have pizza too.
It's not like a big cry or sob session.
it's a gathering of fathers new to the hospital routine and fathers who have years of experience with their kids and surgeries.
Being able to talk about it with somebody that actually, you know, knows something about what you're saying. A lot of the people in there are pretty much in my position. You know, you don't ever expect to spend an inordinate amount of time in a hospital.
From this, the dads begin to develop a relationship with the other dads on the floor, and that's good care for the entire family.
It's 1 hour for dads to talk about their concerns and their kids. their fears, or even their joys, and especially the joy of going back home and just being dad.
Tomorrow will be a better day. There'll be a time when you know, a couple weeks or a couple months from now, when you look back and go, man, you remember that crazy situation where we were there? Thank God it's all over. You know, it's all behind us now.
Native Ohioan Kevin Bizon always had a place in his heart for Memphis, thanks to his sister.
She would always listen to us. I would always go to Graceland.
How many times have you been to Graceland?
Probably more than ours.
Little did the now 28-year-old realize how big a role Memphis would play in his life. At 11 months old, doctors diagnosed Kevin with medulloblastoma, a severe type of brain cancer.
One arrogant doctor said he didn't stand a snowball's chance of hell of making it. And I went to the chapel and got on my knees and said the Lord's Prayer and said, God, I've never lost a son, but I know you have. You have to help me through this.
Kevin and his family made 8 trips a month to St. Jude from Ohio before finally moving to Memphis. He's had 15 brain tumors, 50 surgeries, and countless rounds of chemotherapy. Through it all, he's remained an inspiration and source of optimism for everyone around him.
It was a wintry day and a blast of sleet and snow hit me in the face. And I looked down at Kevin to make a negative comment about the weather, and he looked up at me and said, "It's a beautiful day, isn't it, Dad?" And I said, "Yes, son, it's a beautiful day."
That just keep your hopes up. Just because your glasses for water doesn't mean don't let it spill over.
Kevin has given back all his life, from Elvis tribute performances at senior citizen centers and donating his golf clubs to his caretaker. He even found a way to give back when his mother died.
He left a $1,000 gift to St. Jude to help the children of St. Jude's with money that she had left him.
Kevin is now on end-of-life hospice care. He's suffered strokes and his body racked from surgeries. 2 new chemotherapies haven't helped his latest relapse.
And my surgeon said I could do this surgery, but I don't know what the outcome is.
He knows that he's going to be in a much better place, and it's a time of celebration for us.
Despite this, he's continuing to give back. His birthday wish raised $28,000 for St. Jude, $1,000 for every year of his life. He hopes it helps other children from asking the questions he's asked for 28 years.
They can't find cures for why they keep coming back, why the cancers keep coming back. I keep my hopes up.
Sometimes we think it could be yesterday.
Every picture in the Kroll home now seems to center around one event, when Lucy was diagnosed with brain cancer. 3 months before her diagnosis, 7 months after her diagnosis, a month before she went into a coma and almost died.
It wasn't fun being so sick.
Diagnosed at 4, Lucy is now 8 years old. Girls her age want to be princesses, but instead, she was crowned the 2014 Children's Miracle Network Hospital's champion for Tennessee.
It wasn't guaranteed we'd even have the opportunity, and to be celebrating such a miracle, I mean, we're blessed beyond measure.
Even on the days where I want to scream and be your typical mom and don't call me mom again, I just remember how blessed we are to have 3 in the house yelling mom instead of just 2.
Lucy and her family are ambassadors for the organization and Bonheur Children's Hospital. In November, they traveled to Washington, D.C. and Orlando, Florida to share their story and advocate the importance of donating to local children's hospitals.
Nurses and doctors were my friends. She used to bring me arts and crafts to work on.
You know, Sarah, it's really humbling to think about how many sick children there are throughout the world, the country, the state of Tennessee. For people to recognize what a miracle story Lucy's is like I said, it's humbling.
It's an opportunity for more photos, to remember a better time. This is from the day we shared Lucy's story and inspired other families to keep the fight and faith.
We're thankful for this opportunity. It's a story worth hearing because it's a real modern day miracle.
It's okay. It'll He'll be all right. The hospital is a place to get better, and it's really fun.